Hello everyone, welcome to Bhavishya Ias. This is Kotturu. In this video, we shall discuss about what is the contribution of coconut industry to Indian economy, reasons for the low yield of the coconut, consequences of low yield on Indian economy, steps to be taken to increase this yield. Okay, so let's see why this is in news. This is because Kerala is witnessing a sharp rise in the cost of the coconuts and also the coconut oil. Okay, let's see the contribution of the coconut industry to the Indian economy. See, more than 2.1 million hectares of land is being sown by the coconuts. Okay, livelihood opportunity, if you take it provides direct or indirect employment of 12 million people in India. Okay, and for GDP it contributes around 3.7 billion USD to the Indian GDP. So largest coconut producing country in the world next to the Indonesia and Philippines. Per hectare yield is highest for India. That is what, how much? The 9,000 nuts per hectare. Next, let's see what are the reasons for this low yield. Okay, so the first reason is heavier and shorter rains. Okay, when the rains becomes shorter but it is heavier, what happens is that the flowering of the coconut falls down. Okay, that means aborted flowering, immature nuts, reduced nut size and the quality, and these two are much more important. That is what is happened, the soil leaching and soil fertility. What is meant by soil leaching? See, whenever the rainfall is heavy, the water, when it is leaping into the ground, it takes away much more nutrients along with it. That means so that what happens is that the fertility of the soil decreases, and this will actually affect the growth of the coconuts also. The second reason for the low yield of the coconuts is the warm nights. Okay, so how it is related to this, you should understand with a, I'll just explain you what is happening actually. See, normally what happens is that in the daytime the sun insulations will come onto the earth. Okay, when it hits the earth gets heated and some of the rays will get reflected. These are called terrestrial radiations. Okay, and in the evening time what happens is that the trapped, see, some of the insulation came here and the earth got heated, right? So these trapped rays will get reflected back into the atmosphere during the nights. This is what happens normally. But nowadays what's happening is that because increase in the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, these greenhouse gases are creating a layer in the atmosphere which is not allowing these rays to escape into the environment, so that this region, that is during the nights, these temperatures are getting more warmer and warmer. So that is the reason why the nights are becoming warmer. So what happens if the nights becomes warmer? See, this will impact on the accelerates the reproduction of the pests, as more pests are cold-blooded. Okay, increases the egg laying rate of the female insects, creates new breeding grounds for the pests and other cold-blooded animals in the previously colder places. And see, some of the pests which are actually harmful for the coconut are red palm weevil, whitefly, root willet and the rhinoceros beetles. So once the number of pests increases, obviously it will affect the production of the coconuts. Some of the other reasons which are responsible for the low yielding of the coconut is, see, the land diversion for the construction, shortage of the skilled labor such as coconut tree climbers, etc., and the lack of interest in the planting of the new trees. See, the reason for these all the outcomes is because, see, in the olden days what happened is to that every part of the tree, every part of the coconut tree is being used. Suppose let's think so, the leaves of the coconut are used as a broom. Okay, and some core, the coconut core is used as a bed. They used to use this core in the manufacturing of the beds, right? So now because of the new technologies and new synthetic items came into the industry, into the market, these are getting faded. So obviously what happening is that people are not feeling like they are getting some profit out of it. Okay, there is no market for these things. So obviously what happens, people will not come forward to actually plant new coconuts. And you need to understand here that is once the coconut is being planted, you need to wait for 4 to 5 years to give its first yield. Okay, so these are the factors, some of the factors which actually made the coconut yielding much more sharply come down. Let's see what are the consequences of low yield of the coconuts. Okay, first thing is that it increases the cost of the coconuts and byproducts, and entry of the cheap and the adultery oils, rural to urban migration will increase, okay, reduce income of the farmers and increases in the cost of the medicines, as because the many coconut products are being used in the manufacturing of the medicines. Okay, now let's see what are the ways to increase the production of the coconuts. First is to increase the plantation. Next, to develop more climate and pest resilient varieties, stop diversion of the land from the constructions, provide training to the people in managing the crops, and encouraging the intercropping. So this is very important. Why do you need an intercropping? Because suppose see these coconuts, when you see the coconuts are in high in their heights, okay, so you can make sure that the plants or the crops which actually grow in the shady environments can be planted over there, so that the farmer can get much more yield from that. Because once you once you plant the coconut, it takes around 4 to 5 years of time to get its first yield, and the farmer has to wait for that much of time. Okay, so when he uses this intercropping method, it will decrease his burden and will actually get some profits out of this intercropping. Okay, and the next thing is increasing the awareness of using the byproducts like the coconut brooms, ropes, doormats and scrubs, etc., so that these will get some market, and so that the farmers also get from profits. Okay, so I think you understood this concept and this video. Please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel and share it to your friends. Thank you.